for our first deep dive, we're going to be taking a look at Lessons for Living by Phil Stutz.
This is a great one to start with.
Yeah, this book is all about how to find meaning and grow, even when,
Especially when
life gets hard, right?
Yeah, when things get tough, how do we actually learn and grow from those experiences?
And you know what I love about Stutz? He doesn't, sugarcoat anything.
No.
He just lays it all out there, which I really
tells it like it is.
appreciate.
Yeah.
So one of the first things he tackles is this idea of just an illusion.
Uh-huh.
And it's kind of like, that thing we all get caught up in, the picture-perfect life, the ideal life.
The one that we see all over Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Where everything is effortless and we're all just, constantly happy and successful.
Yeah. Have you ever actually met anyone living that life?
I don't think so. It's definitely an illusion.
It's totally an illusion. It's like, don't compare your bloopers to someone else's highlight reel, right?
Exactly. We all have those behind-the-scenes moments that never make it to the camera.
Exactly.
And what I find interesting is that Stutz doesn't just say, hey, this ideal life is fake. He actually explains why it's so harmful to keep chasing it.
Right.
He says it sets us up for, constant disappointment and makes us feel like failures when we face those normal challenges.
Totally. Because let's be honest, life is messy. It's unpredictable.
Yes.
There are going to be bumps in the road.
Always.
And Stutz really emphasizes that. In fact, he lays out these 5
fundamental
truths of reality.
Yeah.
That honestly might sting a little bit when you first hear them.
I think it's good to hear these truths.
Yeah.
These are the undeniable things about being human.
Okay, hit me with them. What's the first one?
All right, first up, life includes pain and adversity.
I mean, that's not exactly a newsflash, but it's something we often try to pretend isn't true.
We do.
Right.
We try to avoid it.
If we ignore it, it'll go away.
Yeah. Or we think if we just get that next achievement or that next promotion, that then we'll finally be happy. But it doesn't really work that way, does it?
It doesn't. So what's truth number 2?
Truth number 2. The future is uncertain.
Okay. That one hits home. No matter how much we plan and organize, we just can't control everything.
Absolutely not.
Which, honestly, can be a little freeing once you accept it.
I think so, yeah. It takes some of the pressure off.
Takes the pressure off, right?
Yeah.
Okay, truth number 3.
This one might be a bit of a wake-up call for some folks, but anything worth achieving requires discipline.
Oh, yeah. I think a lot of us are looking for that magic shortcut.
Right.
But Stutz is saying
there is no shortcut.
There's no shortcut.
Nah.
Hey, number 4. This one is really interesting.
This is a big one, yeah. You are not special.
Whoa, wait a minute. Now, before everyone gets upset.
Exactly.
He's not saying we're not unique
right.
or valuable as individuals.
No, right. He's saying that none of us are exempt from those universal truths.
We all experience those things.
Right. The pain, the uncertainty, the need for discipline, it's part of the human experience.
We're all in this together. Okay, last one. What's truth number 5?
All right, number 5. These aspects of life are unavoidable, and they will never change.
Ooh, that is a hard truth.
It's a tough one, but it's reality.
It's like he's saying these are the rules of the game.
They are.
And we can't just decide to opt out.
No, we got to play the game.
And he says accepting these truths, as hard as it is actually liberating.
It is.
But you know what? Even when we understand this intellectually, it's still easy to fall into that trap of comparing ourselves to others,
Oh, it's so easy, especially now with social media.
Like just the other day, I was scrolling through, Instagram, and I saw this person I knew from high school.
Oh, no.
And they just seemed to have it all, the perfect family, the dream job,
of course,
exotic vacations,
Ugh, those are the worst.
I know, it just made my life feel so, boring and inadequate.
Oh, I totally get that. We all fall into that comparison trap sometimes.
So easy to do.
It is, and it's exactly what Stutz is talking about, right?
Yeah.
He calls it the comparison trap. We get so caught up in these curated snippets of other people's lives that we forget it's not the whole picture.
Yeah.
Everyone's got their stuff going on, their struggles, their behind-the-scenes moments.
It's hard to remember that when you're bombarded with these picture-perfect images.
And that's where Stutz's perspective is so valuable, I think.
Yeah.
He reminds us that life is not a static picture, it's a process.
Oh, I love that.
A constant flow of events, both good and bad.
Like a movie, right.
Exactly. He actually uses that analogy.
He does.
The snapshot versus the movie. The ideal life, the one we're chasing, is like a snapshot frozen in time, airbrushed, and ultimately kind of superficial. But real life is like a movie. It's full of movement, depth, and those unexpected plot twists.
Oh, I love that.
And it's those plot twists that make the story interesting, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
So how do we actually deal with those plot twists, those curveballs that life throws our way?
that's what we're going to explore next, right?
Yeah.
We'll dive into Stutz's idea of what he calls a philosophy for events.
Ooh, I like that.
And you know what? He actually says we should prepare for those curveballs,
Really?
especially the negative ones.
So it's like, don't just hope for the best,
Not exactly.
but actually expect that things might go wrong.
It's more about accepting that challenges are part of life. And actually, get this, he says they can become opportunities for spiritual growth.
Wow, okay, that's a new way of looking at it.
It is, right? So stay tuned, because in part 2, we're going to explore how we can develop those spiritual skills, how we can actually look forward to adversity, and maybe even find a little bit of joy in those challenging moments.
Okay, I am definitely here for that. This is going to be fascinating.
I know, it's going to be good.
We'll be right back after the break.
Yeah, stay with us.
We're just getting started.
We are, yeah.
See you soon.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the deep dive.
So in part 1, we were talking about how Phil Stutz wants us to kind of ditch that whole idea of like the perfect life.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's really just setting us up for, you know,
Disappointment.
disappointment and even like
Happiness.
unhappiness. Yeah. And we talked about those like 5 fundamental truths he lays out, the ones about like pain and uncertainty and, you know, not being special.
Right, those hard truths
Those tough ones.
that we all have to face.
Yeah. But then we started getting into like the really interesting part where he talks about like preparing for those curveballs.
Yeah.
And how those actually can be opportunities.
Can be opportunities for, what do you call it?
Spiritual growth.
Spiritual growth, yeah. And that's what I'm really curious about.
Me too. I mean, it sounds kind of counterintuitive, right?
Totally, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, when I think about, like, facing a challenge or something, my initial reaction is usually, like, stress, anxiety.
Yeah, for sure. You go into that fight or flight mode.
Right. So how is that growth? Like, where's the spiritual part in all that?
It's interesting, right? Because I think our natural instinct is to kind of run away from those difficult things.
Avoid them at all costs.
Exactly. But what Stutz is saying is that if we can shift our perspective, we can actually like find a way to actually respond to those challenges in a way that can lead to growth.
Okay, so it's all about how we view it.
Exactly. It's like, are we viewing it as a threat or are we viewing it as an opportunity?
Okay, I like that. So how do we actually, like, do that? Like, how do we shift our perspective?
Well, he introduces this this technique called the reversal of desire. It's all about like changing how we relate to pain.
A reversal of desire.
Yeah.
I like it already.
Reversing our desire for pain.
That sounds a little, like, intense.
I know. It's like, isn't that the opposite of what we're supposed to do?
Yeah.
Like, shouldn't we be trying to avoid pain?
Exactly.
But he's saying, and I'm actually going to quote him here, he says, the only way to acquire the power to deal with life's inevitable adversity is to develop a taste for it.
Develop a taste for it. Okay, I don't know about that.
I know, it seems a little crazy, right?
Yeah.
But it's not about like, you know, going out and seeking out pain.
Right.
It's about recognizing that it's part of life.
Okay.
And that by like leaning into it, we can actually turn it into something that can strengthen us.
So instead of seeing pain as, like, the enemy,
Yes.
we see it as, like, a teacher or something.
Exactly. It's like, what can I learn from this?
Okay, that's a cool concept.
Yeah. And he actually gives us a visualization technique to help us practice this.
Ooh, I love visualization techniques. What is it?
It's called the force field. Have you ever heard of it?
No, tell me about it.
So imagine you're standing in front of this like wall of pain.
Okay, wall of pain.
Whatever that represents for you. Like maybe it's a specific fear or like a challenging situation at work or, you know, anything.
Yeah.
And you're standing there. And instead of running away from that wall,
Yeah.
you actually step forward and you push into it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, you feel the resistance.
Yeah.
You acknowledge that it's uncomfortable, but you just keep pushing.
Okay.
And as you're pushing, imagine you're drawing energy from that pain.
Interesting.
Like you're converting it into fuel.
Whoa, okay. And what's supposed to happen when you do that?
Well, the idea is that by consciously choosing to embrace that pain instead of resisting it, we change it into something that strengthens us.
So we're, like, taking control of the pain instead of letting it control us.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
And he even says that as we master this, we might actually start to like experience joy in the midst of those challenges.
Wow, really? Joy.
Yeah. It sounds crazy, but I think what he's getting at is that when we stop fearing those difficult things, we actually open ourselves up to a whole new level of experience.
That's amazing. So the reversal of desire and the force field, that's just like the first tool.
Right, that's just
one tool in the toolkit.
And he gives us a bunch more.
Okay, I'm ready. What's the next one?
All right, the next one is called active love, and it's all about, well, love.
Okay, now this sounds interesting. Active love? All right, let's dive into that. All right, welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're still uncovering all of the wisdom in Lessons for Living by Phil Stutz.
Yeah, this book is like packed with so much good stuff.
I know, right? It's like every page there's another like aha moment.
Totally.
So in the last part, we were talking about the reversal of desire, which was
mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing, right? And the force field technique. But now I'm really curious about this idea of active love.
Oh, yeah, this is a good one.
Because I have a feeling this isn't like the typical, hearts and flowers kind of love.
No, it's not your typical Valentine's Day love.
Okay, good. Because I'm ready for something like a little deeper.
You're going to get it.
Okay, good. Stutz actually makes a distinction between what he calls dependent love and active love.
Okay, what's the difference?
So dependent love is all about needing something from the other person, like validation, security, that feeling of being complete.
Oh, I think we've all experienced that at some point.
Yeah, totally.
Right, like wanting someone to make us feel whole or happy.
Exactly. And the problem with that, Stutz says, is that it's like inherently fragile.
Fragile, how so?
Well, because it depends on things that are outside of our control.
Oh, that makes sense.
What if the other person, doesn't meet our needs? Or if the relationship ends? Suddenly we're left feeling like empty and lost.
Right, like our whole world crumbles.
Exactly. So Stutz is like, hey, there's a better way. Okay, tell me about this better way. Active love.
Active love is all about giving, not taking.
Okay.
It's like actively choosing to extend love and compassion, regardless of whether the other person deserves it or even if they return it.
Whoa, that's pretty intense.
I know, right? It's like next level love.
It is, but how do we actually do that? Especially when we're dealing with, difficult people or situations.
Well, he gives us another visualization technique.
Oh, I love his visualization techniques. What is it?
This one's called the radiating heart.
Okay, the radiating heart, I'm ready. Tell me more.
So close your eyes for a minute and imagine a source of love, like right in your heart.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
And it's like unconditional, limitless, this constant wellspring of love.
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
And now imagine that love expanding outward, like beams of light radiating from your heart center.
Okay, like sunshine coming from my chest.
Exactly. You're sending those beams of love out into the world.
Wow, I'm actually getting chills just thinking about it.
Right. It's powerful stuff.
It is. But what about when we're feeling hurt or angry? Can we really just turn on active love like a light switch?
It's definitely not easy and it takes practice.
Yeah.
But Stutz reminds us that it's not about denying or suppressing our own feelings.
Okay.
Active love is about choosing to respond with love and compassion, even when those difficult emotions are present.
So it's not about pretending everything's okay.
No.
When it's not.
It's about finding that deeper understanding.
Okay, so even if someone does something that hurts us,
yeah,
we could still choose to send them love.
Exactly. And the amazing thing is that when we practice active love, we change not only our relationships with others, but also ourselves.
How so?
Well, by choosing to extend love and compassion, we actually cultivate those qualities within ourselves. We become more patient, more understanding.
Wow, that's a really beautiful idea.
It is, right? It's like breaking free from that cycle of resentment and anger that can keep us trapped.
Yeah, it's so easy to get stuck in that cycle.
No. But Stutz is showing us there's a way out.
I love that. So active love is as much a gift to ourselves as it is to others.
Exactly. And it's a gift that keeps on giving.
I love that. So the reversal of desire, active love, these are just a few of the tools that Stutz gives us in Lessons for Living.
And there's so many more.
Yeah, he talks about the shadow, the grateful flow, the string of pearls.
Yes. It's like a whole toolbox for navigating life.
It is. It's amazing. So I think the biggest takeaway for me is that adversity isn't something to fear or avoid.
Right.
It's actually essential to being human.
It is. And it's through those challenges that we grow and learn.
And ultimately become the best versions of ourselves, right?
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for taking this deep dive with me into Lessons for Living. I hope you've gained some valuable insights and that you'll continue to explore and learn and grow. And, maybe even find a little bit of joy in those challenges along the way.
Absolutely. Embrace the challenges, everyone. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.